MMA Underground. I'm Jay filling in for Buddy V, but we have the other half of the dynamic duo here.
Sound K and shit, man. We got two phenomenal guests in the building as always, all the way from Streetbeefs West Coast. We have the bantamweight champion in the building, Mr. Broke Mark. And all the way from Streetbeefs Scrapyard. He's been tearing shit up all across the nation. We have Mr. JLew in the building.
What's up, guys? Glad to be here.
Glad to have y'all. Glad to have y'all. How y'all feeling?
Pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
nice,
good.
Nice.
I gotta ask right off the bat. So, Broke Mark, why do we have the big nose fights in the name?
Oh, okay. So this was like when I got into my little boxing little thing in high school. So me and my friends would always just box in the backyard, and then me, when I made the channel, they just said they're like, "Well, you got a big nose and you like to fight," so that's where the name came, just Big Nose Fights, and then I just kind of never just changed it. What's up, Mortem?
Okay. So why not the fight name Big Nose? How did we get to Broke Mark?
Oh, okay. That's a funny story. So I work at Taco Bell, and my two friends, Cody, he's been in a few of my matches, like cornering me, and then my friend Joe. When I first got transferred to their store, my friend Joe, there's two Marks. There's our taller Mark. He's gay, so he makes fun of him. Goes like, "That's gay Mark." And since me, I have no money, they go like, "You're broke Mark." And then one day, like as the months went on, I've been bored, and I've been watching the Streetbeefs for a long time, like the East Coast, like the main channel. And then I recently found you guys, the West Coast, and I was like, and then out of nowhere, I'm just, it's dead. I'm sweeping up trash, and I'm like, I look at Cody and Joe, and I go, how would you guys feel if I just went on Streetbeefs? They're like, what? I'm like, Streetbeefs. They're like, what's that? And I showed the channel and everything. They go like, where's that at? I was like, I think it's somewhere in Vegas. And they go like, do you think you can handle that? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I have some boxing experience and I got some pretty good conditioning. I was like, I know I could beat some people, but I'm sure there are gonna be some people out there that could give me some trouble, but it'd be fun, right? And they said, yeah, let's do it. So, and then I signed up, and then it was official. I was like, oh crap, we're actually doing this. And then they're like, we want to go. And then hints right there. Then they're like, what's your nickname going to be? And then we were just there, and they're like, why don't you do Broke Mark? Like, you're broke and you have no money. It'd be funny. And I'm all like, you know what? Screw it. I mean, I got to think of anything better. So pretty much my friends, Joe and Cody, came up with Broke Mark. And hence, now here I am.
Hey, man, not to shoot any shots, but it fits, man. As far as like the way you do your intros, the way you present yourself, the character that we see before the fight and after the fight, it kind of just it's like you have a thing going now,
Yeah, it's great. Like, I love it so much. I was shocked at some people didn't like the name, but like it's majority vote, kind of like just everyone loves the name. Like every time I tell my name, they get a good chuckle and they say that's a funny name. They're like, I love that. I'm all like, yeah. I think I might just keep that, if like depending where this fight little thing I'm doing goes off, I might just keep it for the rest of my life, honestly. Like if I actually do amateurs in the future, hopefully, fingers crossed, I might just go with Broke Mark.
Yeah, I fucks with it. And that brings us over to JLew. How did we get the name JLew, man? What's the story behind that?
That was a thing back in high school for me, was just doing wrestling and football and all that. I had a slogan of, what are you going to do when JLew comes for you? I was a defensive lineman actually for my size, so I was like a pass rusher. So during that's probably when it started, and then I was doing like very good in wrestling. So the slogan just kept on, and I was wrestling a lot, just grabbing a ton of matches, and it carried over to pretty much everywhere I go. Just eventually just kept growing. It's still here now. So yeah. I
Made a
say
name
one
for
of
yourself.
my
It
newest
is wild
names, because when you start fighting as well, like in the gym, they start calling you other things. So currently I am the Terminator as well, because I always go into the gym like a little bit more serious and trying to get business done. And I'm one of the people in my gym that get the most fights. Like I try to fight at least 3 matches, or not 3 matches, like 3 events a month sometimes, or it can get pretty extreme. So everyone's like, it's the T1000, it's the Terminator. So, yeah.
And for those who don't know, kind of fill us in on your background and where you're fighting, because you're not referring to Scrapyard, are you?
Yeah, I fought twice in the scrapyard back in the OG days during COVID. So I got into the scrapyard when during COVID. I was the president at my wrestling team at the time, captain. My season was out of stall because of COVID was going on, and we're all bored. And I saw that Streetbeefs Scrapyard was going on, and a colleague was fighting on there named Gumby, and he was just fighting
Oh
away.
wow. Okay.
And I was just like, hey, maybe I can do this. What could possibly go wrong? So I called my friend over in Seattle, like, hey, can I crash at your place and I'll just fight this guy? Why not? It'll be a fun time. I had nothing better to do. So I went after it, not very much striking experience, and I had a good fight with them that unfortunately didn't get recorded correctly. We messed up the
Mm,
cameras, so unfortunately there's
damn.
only photos of it, but it's still a very good fight. So I remember I was going to an MMA gym, just stopping by, just right before I was about to leave for Seattle for his fight. So I remember going to this gym, just leaving my contact info, and then I come back. Karma gets me. I shoot a good double leg after getting clipped, and then I end up slamming Gumby out of the ring. So the fight ends up going out of the old school ring. If people have seen this old Streetbeefs ring, it's like bungee cords and pool noodles.
Pool noodles.
So he ends up triangling. Yeah, he ended up triangling me. And I've never seen something like that. I remember going at the bar, just ranting on like, damn, I had him. I was throwing bombs, but I got triangled and stuff. And then that got me more into jiu-jitsu and stuff. And then I gave it another go with Buddy V, and Buddy V was able to clip me pretty good. But after that, after college and stuff, I was training over in Bad Company for a little bit with Preacher's Son and Jordan Harrington, if you ever met him. He was a pro over there. So that was absolute hell, just training over there. And then I went over to Austin, got exposed to the jiu-jitsu scene, and was showing a lot of success. Ended up getting my blue belt in like 8 months of training. And I don't know, I just stuck with it because that's the challenges. They were always in front of me, and I always just got DMs to fight or just started fighting in national tournaments. And that's what I've been mostly focused on, was just my job and that. So
you're mostly doing
shameless plug for the
national
show.
tournaments right now.
Yes, in world tournaments. I've participated in at least 2 world tournaments. My biggest thing was national level because I actually placed in that. I placed in Nogi in American Nationals. So
hell yeah. Hey man, that's an inspiration for other Streetbeefs fighters, letting the community know that you can really go places. You know what I mean? If you really put in the work and the time and the effort. What were you gonna say, Jay? I'm sorry.
I was just saying, shameless plug for the show. You can go back and see Preacher's Son on MMA Underground. You can go back and see a couple different ones with Jordan Harrington. And we did the Jordan Harrington, Jay Gotham, raising awareness and money for autism on here. And I just know that I have to bring this up for Buddy V, and it's all in fun, JLew. But Jay Gotham said that Buddy V hit you so good that you changed to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, he did. I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna deny it. I haven't joined the smoker after that. So he won fair and square. Nothing against that.
I was just gonna say, Jay, that was a fly ass hat you had on too.
Yeah, the MMA Underground hat. You
Yes,
can go get
sir.
that at
Yes, sir.
jewel-world.com.
Yep. Y'all go out there. Check out zwirlworld.com. All types of merch on the scene. Also, where you can get your cardio is key shirt. You know what I'm saying? Broke Mark, I want to shift back over to you, man. I'm kind of getting the impression that you just popped up off the couch, or have you been in a gym working with a coach? Like, what's your
Oh,
background like?
I realistically did like I said, I don't obviously I have the experience. Like obviously, like someone that's off the couch, wouldn't fight like that. Like I'm saying, I understand.
Right.
I'm a little sloppy in some aspect, and I can admit that. I had some training, like JLew. I did a little bit of Muay Thai, but the problem was like I don't have the money just to keep doing it monthly. It was just too expensive for me because like me, I live by myself. I rent out this house, so like that's why I worked the 2 jobs. So when I've always wanted to do Streetbeefs like as a kid, like I've been watching Streetbeefs since I was 16, and I told myself it was on my bucket list. I'm like, I'm gonna be on there one day, but obviously I didn't know they were in the East Coast, and then money, plane, got older, and then I saw you guys on the West Coast, and I was like, you know what, like, I mean, I can spend a few $100 just to go to Vegas and just get beat up or just beat up somebody or just have a good time. So yeah, technically I tell everyone this, like, yeah, I do have the training from like way back then, high school, and then a little bit now, like when I was like maybe 20, but a little bit of Muay Thai. I mean, you saw my Muay Thai match. Like obviously I'm still a novice, I don't know enough. Like I couldn't even check a kick when I fought Buzzkill, like it says a lot.
Hey, don't sell yourself short, bro.
I know, but like, I mean, like I said, I still got him, which I was proud. Like, I'm glad I did it. And then, like, when I got that knockdown from that leg kick, it really showed my character. And I got up and I still finished it. So I am proud. And I do plan on doing Muay Thai in the future. I loved it. It's just money too. But yeah, no, I just tell everyone what I do for my training. I just go in my backyard. I look at my opponents, whoever I'm fighting. And if there's enough footage, I'll think of a game plan. And I just do my best just to practice that game plan, emphasize it. And hence why I'm really jab heavy. And like, my love taps, like I use my best. I know I don't have the knockout power. I know I can get it if I really just wail on the guy, but 90% of the time that's not going to happen. So hence why I always start off with just fast little love taps. And then once they start breaking down, then I start unleashing a little bit more. And then I've realized with most of the fighters on the West Coast, that's kind of like their downfall. I've noticed endurance is very, very like everyone's downfall. Because I feel like, yep, there you go. Cardio is key. Like I'm telling you guys, cardio is key. Like I'm the prime example of it. I can say that. But
Buddy dealing with some shit, Ryan. Buddy's dealing with some shit.
Literally.
I tell everyone though. I just say I was like, if you're gonna do this, I always just say like, don't overestimate yourself. I understand we all like to think we have the right hand of God, but if you meet someone that has the chin of God, like, what are you gonna do when you're gassed out for the rest of the match? 2 minutes may not seem like a long time, but if you fight to anyone that's even done it, like 2 minutes is like an eternity for us, and it depends like who you're fighting. If the guy's pressure heavy. Like it like I said, and then me, like when I've done boxing in high school, that made me like really keep up with everyone else. Wasn't my technique or anything. I just remember what they said. They're like, okay, you have good endurance. Just practice your 1, 2, 3. Hence why I always spam the 1, 2, 3. And then in my backyard, I was like, okay, I'm starting to get countered a little bit. I started emphasizing the roll. That's why when I fought Buzzkill in my second fight, that was my biggest help. I told myself when I saw him, 1, 2, 3, roll, 1, 2, roll. So that's why like that whole fight, if you watching when I have against the fence, I just throw my bunches, I roll, and usually 90% of the time I was dodging his hooks. And ever since then, I just told myself, like, wow, I'm actually doing pretty good in Streetbeefs. Like, I might just keep up with this, and I do my best to go to every event I can. Just, it's kind of hard because, I know Arizona. I do plan on going to Arizona. Like I was telling Jay, I want to branch out and do, like, the other, like, Scrapyard, OG, Arizona. Like, I want to do it all. It's just, give me time, guys. I'll get a full-time job that won't, like, kick me in the butt, and then well, we can make trips and then I can be everywhere, hopefully.
Are you in California?
Yes, Tulare, California.
Okay. Again, he's being modest. This man had a 5-round title fight, war, boxing, where he won the title. And then just out the blue, he decides to rematch an old opponent in Muay Thai for the first time. And man, to me, it was one of the best Muay Thai matches we've had in our branch ever. You know what I'm saying? Both of you guys put on a hell of a performance. Buzzkill actually had a point to prove. You know what I'm saying? And going back to, I guess, the core of tonight's topic, cardio, man. Like you showed, you showed exceptional cardio from the 5 rounds earlier and then the 3-round war right after. What do you do?
So what I honestly, I know people don't want to hear this. Go run. Like that's not, but that's the truth. Like that's not all of it. Like I could admit, like running and then fighting are 2 different ballparks. So I always tell everyone like what I do. When I was like training, I make sure I do like 12 rounds on the heavy bag until I'm drenched in sweat, I'm tired, and then I spar as much as humanly possible. Like I get in a line. Like if you go on my Instagram, like it's on my reels. Like I even posted sometimes saying 12 rounds in the bag. I'd sparred like 12 people, 3 rounds each. And what I like to tell people in fights, I'm like, if you're gassed and you know you're gassed, do what I do. I call it the 1, 2, 3, 4. So obviously, don't rely on power anymore. Just rely on technique. The power shots will come. A lot of people like to shell up. So 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and then defense. And then if they don't do anything, okay, now add a third punch. 1, 2, 3, and then just keeping it like that. But if you can't throw 3 punches, throw 2 punches, and then that's when you stop and cover. You're still winning by points as long as your shots are landing correctly. And then that's what helped me. I always push myself to do high rounds with anything. And also like I said, a little bit of running. Like I always tell everyone, gas yourself out before you do any sparring. Like I want you drenched in sweat and then fight someone that's 10 times better than you. Or like I said, fight a partner you guys are on par with and then just take the beating. But like I said, don't just get beat up, get mad and be like, oh, I'll get them back next time. No, like do the sparring, but remember your game plan. Always go with the game plan. Like me, I always tell myself, okay, in this sparring session, I'm going to work on my jab and then just work on your jab, etc. But yeah, there's no secret formula. I would just say like you just got to put yourself in uncomfortable positions and trust your body, and your body will just adjust. Like with running too, because everyone doesn't like to run. I always say when you run as far as you can until you actually stop to catch your breath. Make a mental checkpoint, and then the day after, your goal is to beat that spot where you stopped. And then that's what made my endurance get better. And then boxing, like I said, just rounds. Like even if you just get beat up every day, that's part of the process. Like those are your teammates. They're there to help you. It just sucks for me because my last 5 fights, I had no sparring. This is just me going in with my fingers crossed saying, all right, Mark, trust your jab and make sure your endurance is there. So like I need sparring partners out here, but hopefully like my friend Osamo, whenever he has time, he can just beat me up a little bit because like I've been going in these fights raw. So it's like that's like I say with Hothead, it sucked too. Like when Hothead beat me, like I Bakersfield, those 4 fights, I had no sparring partners. No excuses though. I mean, I got some wins, and then when I fought Hothead, that was the challenge.
We're gonna talk about those Bakerfield fights because I think I caught 2 of those. But I want to switch back over to JLew.
All right.
Let's get JLew some shine real quick. Sticking on the topic of cardio, bro. I know that when in terms of grappling, it's a different type of cardio. It's a different level of cardio. Wrestling as well. Can you talk a little bit about what you've experienced in that aspect?
Lots and lots of rounds, live rounds, and you're tired. You just have more live rounds. Okay. And also more endurance on the weights, a lot of stuff like that. Running's also very great too, but that's one of the things you got to keep in check with your knee health because the big thing is heel hooks and stuff. Because once your knee goes out, then you're out for a long time, and it's not fun if you get your heel ripped and a knee gives in. So a lot of stuff, a lot of hard wrestling. That's another thing is muscle endurance for what I have. Is dealing with stuff or very short bursts when it comes to just trying to deal with specific exchanges. So like very hard things like a soul bike is great. Like doing like a sprint for every 30 seconds and then doing it slower for like 20 seconds and then all out 30 seconds. Those are utter hell. But that's mostly what I do.
JLew, what I want to know is, I know you do a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. What kind of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu are you doing? Like competitions? Are you doing the open hand Eddie Bravo type shit? Are you doing like no gi, with gi, or do you do it all?
Well, I'm a bit of a jujitsu punk. Then I do what's given to me, and I take the fights when I can, and I don't give a fuck about the rule set. So some of them are like in the gi with rule sets where we're
Okay.
just grabbing and doing crazy gi chokes. Some of them are no gi with rules that have unlimited sums, or some of them are in a cage where you're not allowed to pull guard and you're allowed to slam people and you're allowed to suplex them and do stuff. Like my fight coming up that I'm working on is going to be a cage match where you get to pick a guy up, slam him, and all that kind of stuff. And it's going to be a 3-5 minute match. So.
Nice. And like, do you feel in the MMA grappling community, jiu-jitsu community, it's frowned upon, dabbling with all different styles of grappling? Or, because to me it seems like it would make sense to dabble in every different type of competition.
You should dabble. You should 100% dabble
Yeah.
with all the competitions and stuff and get better and learn from each one of them. As long as I'm coming out of a competition, MMA or jiu-jitsu, and I get better from it, that's a win in my books no matter what. And there's a lot of people that are just pansy asses that just rant on Instagram about some dumb things like they hate the gi or they hate some organization or something like that, and they're not doing this. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm going to do it. Like, I'm the one
Yeah.
challenging myself there. But there's a lot of things. Like, I see people that just only want to do no gi and they want to avoid the gi because of fingers and stuff, or people not just they just want to train and do their job and stuff. But from the amount of money you got to pay to be involved in MMA and jiu-jitsu gyms, make it worth your while. That's
Mm.
what I would say. But it's their own opinion. It's their own opinion, you know. And I've seen some crazy things. There's some jiu-jitsu guys that are just so bad with money. Like in jiu-jitsu, you make money by it's like being a rock star or an artist is you get a big resume and you coach a gym or you release instructionals or very specific techniques and you can overprice the crap out of them because you're a star and you can make all this money. So there's this roided up guy named Gordon Ryan, and a lot of his stuff, he literally sells $300 for an hour-long videos, and most of these suckers just want to buy the video just to look at Gordon Ryan, knowing, well, I can just spend 20 minutes to get the same concept just looking it up on YouTube. It's like, but I
Falling for the
say it's,
gimmick.
yeah, it's 100% a gimmick. It's the only way to get good at jiu-jitsu is your hard work and you alone. But use the tools that you have with you, but be practical and make the most of stuff.
I
Yeah.
have a question. I didn't mean to interrupt or anything, but do you plan on going professional soon, or for like MMA, or are you just going to stick strictly to jiu-jitsu and grappling matches?
I'll see what happens in the upper belts and something. I might get tired of jiu-jitsu and go straight into MMA and start getting back into striking. We'll see. Like one of my old coaches that I'm part of Brazilian Fight Factory, and he was doing jiu-jitsu competitively all the way to brown belt. And then he got tired of jiu-jitsu and decided, hey, I'm going to go put on some gloves. He's now in the UFC and just got fight of the night in the last UFC 312.
Wow. Okay.
Have you seen Cody Steele?
Cody Steele, I have not, but now that I got the name, I might go look that up because I like to watch UFC every now and then, and I know like those fight of the night cards sometimes like they get down.
So he was in the undercard for Duplessis in that. So he was in the section that not a lot of people watch because everyone wants to go there at 7:00 in West Coast time, but 9:00 my time, just going to the bar and watching the main card. But he, for some reason, the undercard got fight of the night because he had to go against a former training partner from China, and they were at the very end of it. He was getting clocked, but at the end of it, both of them just went all out and just started throwing hammer fists right in the face and just went all out. Like I'm sure some people saw it on Instagram of just two Asians just throwing hooks and clocking each other in the face and screaming at each other at the very end.
So I got a random question that I want to ask JLew, and then I want Broke Mark to also answer. What do you think is more effective in a street fight, boxing or grappling?
I want to say boxing because in my opinion, I don't think being on the ground is your best option when you're in an all-out brawl. Like, there's like no one's gonna save you. There's no reps. So like, if I'm on the ground and I don't know, like maybe this guy can get on top of me, like get my eyes, like guards them out, scratch them, whatever he can do, bite me, or maybe like when I'm on the ground, like trying to pull guard or something, he can like pull out something on top of me and stab me. But I think staying on your feet's the best bet in a street fight. Because like if you get on the ground, like I feel like that's kind of like game over. Because like like I said, you don't know how crazy the other person is. It's all fun and games until one guy out crazies you. Like if like for example like JLew, like obviously he's gonna want to be on his back because he has that experience. So pull guard, break his try to break his whatever you can do. But what if this guy's more crazy and goes like, oh, this guy's trying to break something. Next thing you know, he's like going for his eyes. I don't know. That's in my opinion. I think boxing. JLew, what do you think?
It depends on the situation. Obviously, boxing, all you need to do is one good punch to the chin and they're out cold. Like, that's one of the good options. In a street fight, I don't care if you're a jiu-jitsu guy or a boxer. If you have the right to throw hands to defend yourself, I'm throwing fucking hands, period. And I'm more of a top player. I shoot more takedowns. I go for a lot more throws. Mm-hmm. So looking at it, the top side of jiu-jitsu is someone's trying to put your hands on you and not trying to throw, and they're trying to get close distance in that. Just knowing how to get angles in jiu-jitsu is a lot more helpful for that specific situation. Like, you see it in number one in street fights, people being dumb and trying to get headlocks. That's like one of the number one things is after people get tired of throwing punches and stuff to try to go to a headlock. And there's been situations of people getting killed in headlocks and stuff like that. And knowing how to just take someone's back or getting someone on the ground is a big deal, especially if you're in some kind of law enforcement or any kind of that situation, or you just want to get their asses down and get them submitted and get them over with. But I would say being on top of somebody and controlling them, jiu-jitsu's well needed. But at the same time, there's so much stuff in jiu-jitsu that's not going to work on the damn street. Like throwing an arm bar or throwing a triangle, you run the risk of someone biting the shit out of your leg or slamming you and all that kind of thing. So I would say staying on top, learning how to get a good knee on belly or knowing how to pin someone to the ground is probably the best thing. I would say wrestling's way better instead of just normal jiu-jitsu. Like, don't get me wrong, like, learning a joint lock and taking something out of the equation is definitely a good thing to do. Like, that's simple, but you got to be aware of other things because people aren't going to play fair, and getting limbs out of the equation is such a big thing. And I would say that's one of the things I'd think is, like, you see, like, back in the day, like bare knuckle boxing, it's not like normal boxing because they grab each other and they're more willing to grab stuff and then throw a lot more cheap shots or elbows and that kind of stuff. Or Muay Thai, that'd be a good thing. I would say definitely more handstand kicks, because if you throw a kick or something, you might just slip and then you fuck up. But definitely dirty boxing would be probably a little bit better on the feet.
Could you imagine being in a street fight, though? You're not trained in anything, and somebody just leg kicks the shit out of you? That'd be wild.
I've been in a few street fights just in high school. I used to be an angry kid and stuff, and most of the times the fights ended because I was able to get some kind of bylock, pick them up, and slam them. That was it. That was the end of it. That was most of them.
Dude, you have to take in consideration, like, what you said, Jay. Like, you're right. Like, if someone with no experience, just some average Joe, and like you're picking a fight with them, if you do throw a random leg kick, I think the shock itself will speak volumes. Because like now that I've actually participated in street beefs or any other fight, like I'm sure JLew can agree. Like I'm sure, like once you're in the actual fight itself, like all those things you think in your head go out the window because like you realize, oh my god, this is real. Like me, I've had so many game plans saying like, oh, this is gonna be a walk in the park. I get jabbed and I'm all like, god damn it. Like, god damn it. And then like, and I always tell everyone too, like first fight jitters are real. Like you think you're gonna have everything under control, but once the atmosphere changes when you realize, oh crap, he's calling out my name. Like you just forget where you're at, and then all those things you have in your head leading up to the fight go out the window. Hence why everyone always says, please, like, muscle memory is real. Like rinse and repeat all the things you do, so it's just muscle memory. Because you're not gonna listen to your corner, and I've noticed that with fighters and street beefs in general. Like I see the best advice going out there, and they're not listening because they're just too tired. They're in their own head, like, oh my god, this guy hits me hard. This guy isn't stopping. Why isn't he tired? Why did he eat that shot? I'm sorry, I know I'm yapping.
That factory reset.
Sorry,
You know what?
interrupt
Go,
you, but
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I thought that was like just a good point to bring up because like Jay's right. Like even for like novices or like people that have never even been in a fight, like the shock is real. Once you get socked in the face or they eat your best punch, it really does. Yeah, like a factory reset. It resets all the things you just like the confidence, the mindset. It just gets reset, and you're like, oh god, this is real. I'm like, oh, he's hurting me. Oh, I'm tired. Why isn't he stopping? Why isn't he tired? Why am I the one being tired? Why am I the one getting beat up? I don't know. It's just like, it's a crazy thing. That's why I always tell everyone, especially some people don't like me. There's like this one guy I've seen in the comments, because I'm a little insecure guy. He thinks I'm too nice for this kind of stuff, like fighting and everything. And I commented saying, I was like, but just because we're doing this and I'm letting other people that have never been in a fight do this, it's a good eye opener, because everyone can fantasize they can be the best fighter in the world until they're actually there. And I'm glad that people are joining more fights because of me. Because like, I know I'm not some tough guy. I'm just Mark. I'm an average guy who works at Taco Bell and Pollo Loco, like, and then if I'm doing it, they think they can do it too. And I'm like, yeah, but I always tell them, like, you just got to remember, like, it's not anything you're picturing in your head. You're not going to be the next Bruce Lee. You're not going to be Conor McGregor. And then maybe some people can realize, oh, I got a knack for this, and they can be those people. So I think, yeah, like I always tell everyone, if you have a chance to do Street Beefs or any like fight organization, if it's free or not, I say do it. It kind of shows you if you really want to do it or not, And it's also a good story to tell your friends around the campfire or something.
Well said. Well said. I wanted to say first, it's crazy that these establishments are allowing you to work both places, knowing damn well they're competitors. That's incredible.
Yeah, no.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, talk about ain't happy with it, but I just told them, I'm all like, guys, like I'm broke, like I'm broke for a reason. Like if you're not giving me hours, I need to get a second job for the hours.
Yeah.
Now they're negotiating with me, saying they're like, if you can work 4 days this week, we'll start giving you hours. I'm like, that's fine. Like I was doing that to begin with. You just cut my hours out of nowhere, and then this job started giving me more full-time hours. And I'm like, whatever just pays the bills at this point. I can't.
Hey, as champ, you got to let them know that you can represent the company. You know what I'm saying? For a fee. But
friends made that joke. They're like, you should just tell them to sponsor you. I'm like,
that's what I'm saying.
I'll wear the shirt and everything. I'll get the gloves made.
Yeah, but hey, I wanted to say also too, man, don't pay attention to these comments, bro. Don't get invested into that shit, bro. There's people out there who specifically are trying to disturb your day. You know what I'm saying? Who would never step in the cage, who would never step to your face, who would never say the things that they've typed. Also, sometimes those aren't even real people. You know what I'm saying? So, I like to think we just pay attention to the people that are showing love and support, But man, you seem to have an itch for fighting multiple times a day.
Yes.
I've seen multiple events where you fought multiple times, and this past event that we had in January, same scenario. You want to talk about those fights you had?
So me personally, my biggest fear was driving out there and the guy pulls out last minute. And I know that has been the case for some other people too. And that sucks, like especially if you live where I live, that's like a 7-hour, 6-hour drive. So I always tell myself, I know I have the endurance. I'm not underestimating anybody because like if they're willing to fight me, I'm pretty sure by now everyone knows like, oh, this is Mark. This guy's a cardio machine or blah, blah. Or like, this guy was the former flyweight champ. Now he's the bantamweight champ. So I know they're not looking past me, and I'm not looking past them either. But me, you never know. Like I always like to put on a good show, and like who doesn't like more fights, more views? So I always tell myself, as long as I know I can do it, I don't mind fighting more than once, you know? And I don't know. And then like me personally, it's like a safety. It's like a safety net. Like, oh, just in case this guy pulls out, at least I know I still have the other guy, you know? And then same thing for them too. Like they're like, oh man, I've got to fight now. Like, you want to fight Mark? And they go like, okay. And then then we fight. And then everyone gets their show. Everyone drive out and got what they did. You know, win or loss, we're all happy. Celebrate. I get my victory, McDonald's or pizza. It's a great day.
Yeah,
So-
you had the oh, go ahead, Jay.
No, go ahead, Sam K.
Now I was gonna say, just for the people who didn't know, Mark had a title fight this recent event with Smokey. Anyone who knows Smokey, he's a very heavy hitter.
Oh yeah.
And then right afterward, he had a major fight with Dark, and Dark has been wanting this fight for a while. And Dark lives up to his name. He brings the force every time. He as well fought earlier that day, and I'm interested in your thoughts with that fight.
Oh, Dark's first fight or my fight with him?
Your fight with him.
Oh my god! I like when I saw Dark when I saw him in the Arizona event, I instantly became a fan, and I knew from like I always look at the weights to be like, all right, who's my next competition? And I saw him. I saw some things that I like because me like my fighter kicks in, like my little fighter sense kicks in. I'm like, oh okay, I can do it if I ever fight this guy. And then once I saw Dark fight in Arizona, and then he lost his third fight, I think I knew I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to fight this guy one day. And I was a little scared of him. I was telling Cody, I'm all like, I'm scared of this guy's hooks. Like when Dark gets into it, I knew Dark was gonna give me some trouble. But when I saw him at the event, you know me, I like to talk to everyone there, like get everyone's input and like just introduce myself so everyone feels comfortable, and it makes me feel comfortable too. So when I was talking to Dark, I was like, hey Dark, I was like, well, I'm Mark, nice to meet you. I just want to say I'm a fan. And then he was like, dude, I love you, man. He was like, you're broke, Mark. And I'm all like, yeah. I was like, okay, so you know me. He was like, of course I know you. And we were talking, and then I was giving him some advice for his fight. I was just telling him, I was like, yeah, no, I just feel like you should work on more things. And he was like, oh, what should I work on? I'm like, I've noticed you don't like your jab a lot. Like, you just kind of throw it out the way, and you kind of like just try to get in there and scramble. And then, I told him when I cornered him, he kind of was doing it. And then when we fought, and they offered me that chance to fight him, I was like, all right, Dark, I'm down. And then, Free Smoke said, you want to give him the title chance? And me, I said yes. I was like, yeah, let's screw it. I mean, he already has 3 fights in. I think that's like the rule for you guys to give him a title fight. I was like, I don't think I'm some hot shot. So I said, yeah, if you want to fight for the title right now, let's do it. But Dark says he respects me too much and says he wants to earn it. So we just said, I was like, how about we just do a 5-round, 5-hour regular fight? And we did. Going into it, I was nervous, seeing him across, he was getting ready, and I'm just like, oh man. And then once we touched gloves, and then I just I felt like I was doing good. I after rewatching it a few times, like I can say I really thought I lost that fight to begin with, if I'm being honest. The first time I thought I lost, but after rewatching it, I can see why you guys gave it to me. I was put on the more pressure, the volume, and my shots were landing cleaner. It was just that, like, I don't know, he just gives off this force. Like, it's just like when when you yell and everything, I'm just like, man, like, am I losing? Am I getting beat up right now? Like, I don't know what's happening. But when he was orthodox, I was definitely countering a lot, which I was happy with. But when that man caught on to what I was doing and he hit me with the switch stance and went southpaw, that gave me trouble. That left straight was there all day. And that's why my face was all bloody. I remember the shot too. It was in the highlights in the most recent reel. He just threw a straight left. All I feel is this warm liquid hit my face. And I'm like, this guy like made my nose bleed. But man, fighting him was a vibe. I just feel like what he should have done more with me. He had the right thing. He beat me at my own game. He kind of was beating me, like, going shot for shot with me, and he was pushing me back. But the problem was he what's the word I'm looking for? Because like he had the volume right and he was doing the baby shots right, which I was liking. But the problem was he was relying so much more on just like throwing a bunch of random shots to scare me, which was working. And he never capitalized with that hook that made me scared of him. His hooks would have been a lot better if he used it against me, but he just didn't. But I get it. When you're in the fight, you kind of just don't think. You're fighting. But and then me, Island, shout out to him if he's watching this. You said that check left hook was there, and you were right. Once you said that, I just kept spamming that hook. It was there all day. And then man. Oh, hey Apex. But yeah, no, fighting Dark, I am so glad that fight happened. Like, I was scared of him, but when you guys made it happen, like I knew it was gonna be fun. Like I had so much fun. So far, it's like my favorite fight. I felt like it was both evenly matched to an extent. I can say after watching it, my shots were landing and my volume was there, so I can fairly say like I won confidently. But man, Dark, if you're watching this or if you ever see clips of it, if it gets posted, like all I'm gonna say is like, man, your like aura, what you bring in was so intimidating. And then like when he screams, he goes, ah, like that made me so scared of him. I'm like, am I losing? And then my mom was watching. But man, great guy, love that guy. I would definitely like I'll say it now. He's definitely gonna fight me for that belt one day. But until then, I can't wait to see what he does. And the same thing with me. I can't wait. Whoever I have to fight next, I think it's Maury next, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was the next guy. But
It seems like it would be.
I don't know because I think Dark called them out. So I don't know if you guys want to give that to him. I don't know who makes the matches, but Dark made the call.
It ain't me. Usually it's Free Smoke and Tank Weddle when it's at Weddle's place.
Like after that call out at the end, I'm like, oh, okay, they got something. So I was like,
Yeah. That's that Arizona. There's like a few guys from Arizona that all wanted to fight each other, and they're slowly fighting each other. And I think that's the last matchup that hasn't gone down. So good matchup as well. Good matchup. Good assessment as well. And I definitely look forward to that rematch because I feel like if there's any two fighters I could see having a trilogy, I could see you guys having a trilogy.
Oh no, absolutely. That man's and like the best part is too, like I love his Instagram page too. Like the man's like completely like it's funny, like you wouldn't expect it. If you look at his Instagram page, he just posts like those awesome pictures of like Warhammer and stuff. And me, I'm a dork for that, man. I love the Warhammer stuff. So and then just getting beat up by him, oh man, like blessed. Like it was a great day. Like I can't tell you how happy I was for me not being there for a few months and then coming back and fighting two awesome people like that. It was great. I had a blast. I'll do it again.
Hell yeah. And JLew, I wanted to switch back over to you. You go ahead, Jay. You go ahead.
I was going to ask. So I'm sitting here thinking every fighter has, MMA fighter, boxer has their favorite finish, right? What's yours as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artist? Your favorite finish? Do you get up and you feel the best after beating somebody that way?
Ooh, that's a good question because I like just watching someone throw or something and doing something awesome. I would say, and finishes come and go. Because it's a strategy thing. See, maybe my favorite one doesn't always work, so I go to another and I do something sweet and it's exciting and I do something crazy. I would say my favorite one would probably be an arm bar after a takedown or a big throw to a knee bar. Just recently, I got a pretty crazy knee bar finish. So.
Nice.
But
I wanted to ask you,
nice.
Say it again.
Rear naked chokes are also pretty dope too. Just taking a guy and then taking their back and just dominating them. It's always satisfying for that.
Facts. I wanted to ask you, man, as far as like watching other fighters, who are some of your influences and whatnot?
You cut out for a sec there. Can you say that again?
As far as like other fighters in the world, who are some of your influences coming up?
My biggest influences coming up? Well, definitely my coaches. They're definitely there for me in my corner. They were some of my greatest influences. Definitely, like the gym I just joined I was one day I was watching a full-on tournament. I was watching the Abu Dhabi trials, which is like one of the biggest tournaments, and I saw these guys that are just jacked, just dominating the tournament. I knew they were right next to me. Actually, the two strongest gyms are in Austin, but I saw this one because they were very balanced with what I stood for a lot of things. So I was at a gym that really didn't care much about me. And then I just was like, I'm transferring to this gym. So they were my biggest influence right now. I don't I don't know who I look up to right now. I'm literally just at a self-development thing that I'm just working on myself at the moment, trying to figure myself out. So I'm not sure exactly yet, but
You weren't
but
you're not a fan of any fighters, any styles that
oh
stood
yeah,
out.
I'm a
You
fan
didn't
of
take influence.
a lot of styles. I would say the biggest one right now, just looking at it, I would say Barab. I'm a huge Marab fan after what he performed last time.
We used to go to the same gym, matter of fact.
Syndicate?
No, Fitness 23. I mean, he
Oh,
goes all over Vegas, but that was the gym where I met him.
oh, right on. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite UFC fighters at the moment. Or Bo Nickel. I like Bo Nickel a lot because he's a guy that was in a very similar position I was, but he actually was able to dominate and have some hands too. Like he's one of those people that proved you can transition to one thing. So
Nice, nice. And what about you, bro, Mark? Influences?
Honestly, the person that got me into fighting would be Lomachenko. I saw him fight under the Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao fight, and that was the first time I ever watched my first boxing match. Anything, obviously everyone knows who Mike Tyson is, but me, I didn't really care for boxing because at the time I never pictured myself like ever doing it. But my mom was like, "Oh, hey, I'm watching the Mayweather versus Pacquiao fight. If you want to watch it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." What the guy ain't doing anything, so I'm in there watching the fight with her, and the undercard Lomachenko. Man, after seeing him, I don't know what happened. I just felt like I was like, man, that's so like he's so cool. And then I started watching highlights, and then I joined my first gym, got beat up, but I just fell in love with it. I don't know what happened. Like it all just kind of came in, and then I was like, I want to be a boxer. I was like, oh, that's just cool. And then after the boxing, I got my styles. I got my, the person I'm really like trying to like emphasize in my style is Ricardo Martinez. He's a very old-fashioned boxer. I just love I just love how he sets up his 1-2s. Hence why I'm trying to implement a little bit more. But it's kind of hard. Like I can throw it off the heavy bag all day, but at the end of the day, I need that extra. I need the coach to like tell me like what I'm doing wrong with the 1-2. Because like I've noticed sometimes in what's flaws, like when I get really comfortable, I'll throw my jab and then I'm down here. Like I go like that. So I go down. I noticed that a lot of my fight with Dark, but like I said, you live and learn. And then MMA wise, I love Nate Diaz. I like when people tell me like, "Oh, you got the card, you got the Nate Diaz effect." I'm like, "Hey, it works. If it works, it works." And then of course, I'm a fan of Conor McGregor before he became what he is now. But I mean, still love that guy. Dustin Poirier. I love all my strikers really. And then my goat, Demetrius Johnson, the Mighty Mouse. I fell in love with him after his like famous like suplex into an armbar, and then after that I became a fan of MMA. And then Muay Thai. Oh, that made me want to like do Muay Thai now. Like I really want to emphasize my kicking. Obviously, all the goats: Sanchai, Rod Tang. I can't say Taiwachi, but they fight in one championship. And I love all combat sports. Like ever since then, like I do my best to watch all of them, and I implement the stuff that's realistic to me. Because obviously, I don't want to be this guy, but if I'm a self-taught fighter, you have to be realistic with yourself. Like I'm not going to learn how to do a 360 roundhouse kick by myself without that extra like opposing force helping me, correcting it. Because you can create bad habits if you're just doing it yourself and no one's correcting you. So I just do my best to keep it simple. Like I watch the guys that just stick to the basics and they make it look like they're doing extravagant, like extravagant, like they're just amazing at it. So Ricardo Martinez, Rod Tang, like I like Rod Tang style, the constant pressure and the smart pressure too. It's not just I know everyone likes the highlights where he just gets chin clipped and then shakes it off, but like I feel like he taught me a lot like how to keep that constant pressure, but in a way that like it's mature, like mature pressure. Like I'm not just walking forward and eating shots. Like you see me, like I'll walk in. Sometimes I'll back up. Sometimes I'll accept the exchanges. And then me, my what he taught me was stay in the pocket. And then if they back up, step in a little bit. And I noticed that really gets into your head. that gets in the head with a lot of fighters. Like Smokey was a prime example of it. Not disrespecting him, but when I knew from a fact when I saw him versus Maury, I knew for a fact I was his worst matchup ever, because I just feel like Maury could have had it if he just did what I was doing. They were exchanging, but Maury didn't like the exchanges, so hence why the fight was even. That's why the draw was perfect for them, because they were like two opposing forces. One doesn't like the pressure, and the other one doesn't like being backed up. And Smokey didn't like being backed up, but when Smokey fought back, it showed Maury's character. Like when Smokey tried to fight back, Maury got scared and went back to fighting the long fight, which is nothing wrong with that. Fighting to your range is smart. But me, I knew I was taller, but I was like, I'm a scrapper. So when Smokey tried to fight back and show me his teeth, I fought back too, and he didn't like that. And my friends showed me a picture after round one. If you really pay attention after round one, if you look at Smokey's face, that's how I knew I won the fight. It was defeat. He was uncomfortable. I showed him something he wasn't used to. But don't get me wrong, man hits like a truck. Those jabs he was hitting me with, I was like, oh my God. Like, he has it. It's just what I just feel like if he really looks at the fight and if someone capitalizes with him and trains with him, really, he's gonna be a whole new fighter. Because like he's 6-1 for a reason, you know? Well, 6-2. But, like, you know, he's like I said, he was good, but I just knew I was his worst matchup when I saw the fight. Him versus Maury was more than me telling him, okay, I'm his worst matchup ever. I live in the close range experience. I like the crossfire. I can eat a shot. I know I'm mature enough not to show too much of a reaction if I get hit hard enough. And Smokey, he showed me a lot that he doesn't like to get hit, which is fine. No one does. It's just that's why fighting's such a hard thing to do. You know, it really shows your character.
Well, you took him in deep waters. You guys both swam into deep waters, and you had the lungs for it. I at the day of, I was thinking, man, did I stop it a little too early? And then when the video finally came out, much like what you just said, after that first round, it was pretty.
Yeah.
You could see the exhaustion. It wasn't like he was. It wasn't like he was beat up, but
Yeah.
he was defeated.
Yeah,
Exactly. And I was like, no, I made the right call. And especially when I asked him, hey, do you want to continue? Look at me. And, he's unresponsive, and kind of waiting on me. So I'm like, all right, we're going to wave it off, But phenomenal fight.
I just wanted to say that first round with the headbutt, I'm not going to lie. I just went what you said. I really thought man had the right hand of God. And I thought he just clipped me with the cleanest, like, hook ever. So when I came to, like, I kid you not, I blacked out. Like, I just remember opening my eyes and I go, like, this man has the right hand of God, and he just clipped me. And then I looked at him, and I was whatever he says, I'm just gonna go with it. And he said headbutt. I'm like, it was a headbutt. So I was
y'all had a clash because he acknowledged it as well. Y'all had a slight clash. It wasn't intentional, but when you position your body a certain way, when you lean a certain way,
Yeah, no, I wasn't mad or anything. Like I said, like I thought it was just funny to me because like when I realized, I'm like, oh my God, this guy has power. And then when I saw the clip, I saw it was right there. And then it was my fault. I got too close. And when he ducks with his head. Like most people do. I wasn't mad. It's part of the game. But like when he got me with that, I really looked at you. I'm like, was it a headbutt? And they said headbutt. I'm like, I just went. I said, it's a headbutt.
Yeah, we're gonna roll with it.
Yeah. And then, I was scared for like the first 20 seconds, and I was like, okay, this guy has power. Like, you need to be cautious. But then I realized, like I said, I got back into my groove. I was like, okay, he still respects me enough to keep backing up like this. He isn't capitalizing what just happened. So I was like, okay, I know my IQ is a little better in that aspect. Because even still, like, it was a quick flash. He still technically he knocked me out. Like, I blacked out. I remember just blacking out. And then I just, like I said, I got my confidence back. And then that's when I told myself, I was like, okay, round 2. Be a little more patient with him. And then round 3, I mean, I said it. I told everyone all day, like, what do you think is going to end? I'm like, me personally, I think I'm going to end it round 3 or early round 4. Because, like, I knew, I like how I told you, like, I knew his gas wasn't there with mine. And that really gives me enough confidence to go into these fights. Because, like, a lot of people, like I said, you can always tell yourself you have the right hand of God, but what are you going to do when you just can't knock out the guy, But yeah, no, other than that, like, shout out to Smokey. I had fun. He hits hard. Like, he's pretty accurate with his jab. I would just say if you ever consider getting actually properly trained, you'll be an absolute unit. Like I said, like other than that, I had a great time with him too. I'm glad he took my picture with me. Like I like doing that with people. I always feel bad though, because I don't want them to think that like, oh, this guy's just being an a-hole, gonna get his victory photo or something like that. But no, I feel like we shared the ring, so technically we're like best buds now. Like we gotta share the moment, you know. It's all love at the end of the game. At the end of the day.
Facts. Nah, bro. I mean, everyone knows you're a genuine guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the community loves you. And, you know, that's not misunderstood, you know, and really that's what we're about at Street Beefs. You know what I mean? You should be able to have a conversation, shake hands, you know, with your opponent afterwards. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be all good, you know, so.
Well, before we get out of here, Sam K, you got any more questions before we have them do their shout outs and where we can find them?
Nah, man, I think we ran through just about everything. Yeah, if you guys want to give out any shout outs, any plugins, JLew, if you want to start it off, now's the time.
Yeah. So first off, shout out to my sponsors, Technica Printing. They printed my uniform this year for my rash guards and all my stuff. And then shout out to GymBot AI. It's an app that designs your workouts for you using AI and stuff like that. They're sponsoring for my jiu-jitsu journey and my martial arts journey for about a year now, so that's been great. Also, I vlog most of my journey on YouTube now, and I show most of my tournaments and all my stuff at JLew Jiu-Jitsu. And yeah, that's about it. That's the only shout outs I have. And shout out for Buddy V and Zool for having me out there.
All right.
Mark?
Yeah, of course. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for having me. This was like a good way to get out of my comfort zone. I always feel like I talk too much, or like, you know, I like to talk to people, but I don't know. I feel like me on camera, it's a little different, but thank you for having me. I'm glad I got to conquer my fear and do this. Shout out to my friends and shout out to everyone that supports me, whether it be on Street Beefs, Big Show Boxing, or etc. And my last shout out to people that invited me to Turlock. They're hosting another, like, they're called smokers. Is that what they're called? Like what I heard you guys talking about. I was going to ask. Like,
Smoker events.
Yeah, smoker events. I got invited to another one. I will be in Turlock. So a new side quest unlock. We're going to Turlock. Shout out to my opponent coming up, Crusader. I hope I can live up to your hype. I guess he's been wanting to fight me for a while now. I guess he has an amateur background, so this will be a new experience for me. Man, a little step up in challenge, but other than that, yeah, shout out to everyone. Love you guys. Thank you, Street Beefs. Thank you, Street Beefs West Coast. Yeah, I wouldn't be myself. I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for you guys. So thank you. I appreciate you all. Love you all. Can't wait to see you guys in former events. Sadly, I can't make it to March 1st, but that one threw me off. You guys did that really early, so I was like, oh crap, I can't make it to that one. But
hey, they changed the date on me too, so
I will be 24 on March 3rd. So that'll be my birthday. Sadly,
Pisces gang.
All right, but other than that, thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Well, thank you guys so much. You guys have a great night.
You as well. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah, thank you.
Great show, but it ain't over yet.
No.
We'll be back in a minute with some fire.
JLew, lifestyle wear for the fighter in you. A movement to show that by utilizing hard work, grit, and determination, you could achieve any dream as long as you were willing to put in the hard work. Buddy V creates his own unique artwork and designs all of his clothing, jewelry, and accessories, taking the time to create every item so you could feel the pride in every piece. As a living embodiment of JLew's principles, Buddy V fights MMA while staying active in the community, promoting positivity. Whether you are a stay-at-home parent, entrepreneur, or anything else, there is a place for you at JLew.
You got a hammer. Coming around the side. There it is.
Right here.
Yeah, Samke and the Fire 5. We're going to start things off at the OG Yard. You see it. Big Rob versus NC. Yeah, you see it. This was a MMA match. And yeah, these guys, they went at it. You see the time. It didn't take much time. Heavy bombs being thrown and much respect between these two. This was a firefight right here. Streetbeefs, OG Yard, Big Rob versus Big NC firefight. Yeah, you see it. Moving along, we're going to go ahead and go to the Scrapyard, Streetbeef Scrapyard. We got Big K versus Big John. Crazy fight right here. Heavyweight banger. You see the title. It was a lot of throws, a lot of strikes, and a lot of blood in this fight right here. These men did not disappoint. Edge of your seat action right here, and definition of a firefight. Streetbeef Scrapyard, Big K versus Big John, firefight. Moving along, you see it. We got Hookah John versus Thug Life. Another fire MMA match right here at the OG Yard. And man, this was another phenomenal match right here. These guys went toe to toe. You see where the toe is on this guy's chin right here with the leg kick. Phenomenal fire right here. These guys very much determined, very much tenacious, and man, straight banger. Streetbeefs OG Yard, Hookah John versus Thug Life. Yeah. That's the fight where we were talking about not too long ago. Streetbeefs West Coast, we have Smokey versus Broke Mark in the title fight. Man, look at that thumbnail right there. As you know, Broke Mark, he comes with the volume, he comes with the pressure, he comes with the cardio. And what do we say every week? Cardio is key. Cardio is key. Cardio is key. But as you know, Smokey comes with the pressure, he comes with the bombs, and he comes to prove a point. These two went at it. Fire, phenomenal fight right here. Streetbeefs West Coast, Smokey versus Broke Mark, firefight. Taking you back to Streetbeef Scrapyard, you see it. Jersey Devil versus Dave. Man, this was another phenomenal match right here. Boxing and how they say styles make fights. Two different styles, two different fighters, and they came together and gave us a firefight right here. Yeah, edge of your seat action once again. Bombs being thrown. We got the slips. We got the counters. Everything you want to see in a match. A fire match. Streetbeef Scrapyard, Jersey Devil versus Dave, firefight. Soundcan the Fire 5.
I had to channel my inner Buddy V.
Buddy V. Ooh, 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 ooh. Speaking of Buddy V, man, I want to give a shout out to Buddy V. He's out there in the world dealing with shit. Hey, we all got to deal with shit at some point in life. It happens. It happens. But shout out to Buddy V and zwellworld.com. You see it right there, zwellworld.com. Once again, that's where you can get exclusive Zwell merch. You can get MMA Underground merch from the podcast, as well as you can get Samke merch. The Cardio is Key line is out. Limited edition gold is out. You know, I'm over here sporting as well. Tech suit right here, feeling fly, feeling fresh, you know what I'm saying? Y'all go support, check it out, and show some love. But shit, Jay,
I'm not gonna lie. I almost wore my too, and I felt weird if we were both wearing it. So I'm glad I didn't actually wear it because that would have been awkward.
just a little. You know what I'm saying? Just a little.
Yeah.
Next week.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. The best thing you can do to support the channel, though, is share it. Please just share the video. That's the best you can do to help us. Also, hit the notification so you don't miss anything, because you don't want to miss Montana. You don't want to miss David killing it on Well Beyond the Arc. You don't want to miss Montana. And you don't want to miss Mark killing it with college football junkies. And if you love football, Maddie and I will be breaking down the upcoming draft, so make sure you check that out. And I'll end it as I always do. One world, one love, deuces.